Thank you for watching another live edition of the East West Football Podcast. I'm Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, like always, Jerry Martinez, Kendall Whitley. What's up, guys?
Been a while. But man, we're getting closer, right? 75 days until, I believe, 75 days until the start of football. But it's getting closer, and I'm getting excited.
Yeah, getting real close. I mean, right now we in this dead time of sports. We're in football anyway, so not much going on, but we're here to make some things happen.
All right, and our offseason review continues, and we'll start talking about the NFC East here, and we'll start with the Dallas Cowboys. So, key losses: wide receiver Mark Cooper, defensive end Randy Gregory, right tackle Lionel Collins, left guard Connor Williams, and wide receiver Cedric Wilson. Key additions: edge rusher Dante Fowler and wide receiver James Washington. Jerry, did I miss anybody since the Dallas Cowboys?
Man, honestly, I think we could stop the name dropping there. I mean, it's been a frustrating season, for lack of better terms, for a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans, man. Um, Still a lot of questions that have, when they've asked, they just don't give a specific answer to why. But I mean, everything's kind of like showing and indicating, they got to get ready for these new contracts that are coming up. And we're talking about Trayvon Diggs, potentially CD Lamb, and then, of course, Michael Parsons. Because think if anything, Michael Parsons was the biggest surprise last year, just in general, in the entire season of the NFL.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you no more there, Jerry. I think one of the lost they lost is Amari Cooper. Went to Cleveland. It's kind of gone up under. We haven't talked about it a lot since he left from there, and I think it's going to be a big loss for them. I do think CeeDee Lamb is ready to be a number one. I think James Washington will be an under the radar pickup for it. I think it's going to have a pretty good year, along with the guy they drafted, the wide receiver they drafted this year. Out of
Jalen,
I forgot the
Jalen Tolbert.
yeah, Jalen Tubbo along with him. I think it'll be a couple of great pickups for them. A lot of people talking about Sam Williams to the end that they got out of Ole Miss. I think that's gonna be a great pickup for them. I think he could be a probably 8 to 10 sack guy. Dante Fowler, another underrated signing. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what Dallas Cowboys do this year. And Michael Parsons coming into it, sophomore slump. I'm sure he's gonna step it up a notch this year.
Jerry, I mean, you as a Cowboys fan, I mean, who do you think needs to step up this upcoming season?
Man, honestly, I think that Dak Prescott needs to step up, and he knows it too, man. I mean, I've seen the reports. I've been paying attention to it. I've been following. I've been following the trail, just like you guys have done respectively for your teams, and it's crazy, man. It's gonna come back to Dak, and Dak being able to make the adjustments when needed. I mean, we saw what happened in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure he probably never wants that to happen again, and I'm pretty sure he wants to show the fans that maybe lost their faith that, hey, he's in it, man.
How
He's in
much
it.
how, how much pressure you think is on Mike McCarthy this year?
I think that's also right. That's also been a topic of conversation, especially with a lot of cowboy people. There's conspiracy theories out there, right? But I try not to get involved in those kind of things. I just kind of go take it as it is. I think if anything, this is a kind of make or break year for Mike McCarthy. I think that they're not letting it known, though, so the leash is short. But it all falls back. It could possibly fall back, and from there, man, it would stir so many things, because I'm pretty sure if it's midseason, Kellen Moore has to step in, and then Kellen Moore's going to see if he can be a head coach, and who knows, maybe the Cowboys can be reliving a Jason Garrett situation, right? But instead, it's Kellen Moore as the head coach taking over, or we can have what all the Dream fans want, which is a Sean Payton Dallas Cowboys reunion, right? So, I mean, right now, I think right now, though, the thing is, the two teams in the NFC East that people are talking about the most are the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, and it doesn't get any easier than that. In fact, that's probably my least favorite team in the division. I consider those like arch rivals. So if you are an Eagles fan and I'm a Cowboys fan, yeah, man, it's not going to be, the conversations get a little bit more tighter, and that goes for at work too. I got some Eagle fans that I know, And it's not easy, man. It's not easy being a Cowboy fan, even at work. And you got these Eagle fans around work, kind of chastising like the way the Eagle fans do to all the teams and players. But we'll see, man. Because what team did you want to cover about next on the East?
Let's do the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles, man. I mean, you go for it, Kendall. You took over because I was kind of taking up a lot of airtime.
Oh, you good there with the Eagles? Hey, what are we looking for? AJ Brown. They got him. They got Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. I think they had a pretty good draft. I think they had a really good draft. They got some depth. They got younger. They brought in AJ Brown. They signed James Burberry from the Panthers or whatnot, formerly of the Panthers. Well, formerly of the Panthers and the Giants. So they signed James Burberry. So I think they had a pretty good all season. Very underrated all signings. They're younger. They're deeper. They got quicker at linebacker. I think if Philly can stay healthy, they can win that division. I really think so. Because there was only a couple pieces away. I'm really glad that they did address the secondary to pair James Burberry back there with the Darius Slay. I'm really glad they did that. So I think Phillies they in line to have a pretty good season this year, and we just have to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest key for the Eagles to have success this upcoming season is going to be Jalen Hurts and his improvements throwing the football.
Yeah.
So we know he can run the football, but now you got one of the best receivers, top 5, and AJ Brown. He's there. They're friends. So I think that's going to help him out. But also Devontae Smith going into the second year, I think that's going to be huge for that offense.
I think with him going into his second year, he's in line for a big leap. Also, his second. We just talked about Michael Parsons and the Cowboys at linebacker. I think Devontae Smith, he's in line for a big year too. Well, with AJ Brown, opposite him, they still got Jalen Watkins there in the slot. Rager hasn't done much, so we just have to see what happens there. They got Dallas Goedert at tight end or whatnot. So we're gonna see. It's all on Jalen Hurts.
Man, I mean, look, as much as I hate these Eagles, man, they made some good moves, man. Overall, when you looked at their needs, right, their offseason needs, a lot of them, they got an influx of youth, and and I guess a lot has to go back to Howie Roseman, man. I think that he's been able to manage that team well. The new coaching staff he brought in looks like they look sharp. They look like they know where they're headed. But man, you guys kind of hit it on the nail in the coffin, man. I think that this is the season that Jalen Hurts needs to silence the doubters, and if he can do what is asked, this team could easily beat out the Dallas Cowboys. But I still see the Cowboys favored it in this one, man. I still see it. I still see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, if Jalen Hurts wants to solidify his role to being an NFL starting quarterback, it's got to happen this season. He's got weapons all around him. He's got a full offseason, healthy offseason. It looks like he slimmed down a little bit too. So hopefully I help him out. So, hey, man, I mean, it's put up or shut up for Jalen Hurts this season.
Look, I'm gonna add this real quick because we kind of already talked about it. But if the Cowboys top 3, at least the top 3, maybe up to fifth round rookies, if they can maybe perhaps get some playing time and be able to add value on a weekly basis, in other words, if they can get some playing time to these rookies, man, the Cowboys have done a really good job and reloaded. So, but we're gonna have to see that these rookies actually step up and be pros immediately for the Cowboys to continue this role.
And let's go and move on to the team that I find most interesting in this division, and that's the New York Football Giants. The biggest offseason acquisition was Brian Daboll being the head coach, offensive coordinator in Buffalo. Helped Josh Allen develop as a quarterback, and I think it's going to be really good for Daniel Jones. And I think he's going to have the best year of his career. I'm going to go on a limb and say that. So, as far as the offseason acquisitions, we got Max Garcia, we got Richie James, we got Justin Ellis, Jahad Ward, excuse me, and then Matt Breida. And that's for the Niners. And then also, too, I mean, guys, I just can't get over Brian Daboll being the head coach and him, because we saw what he did with Josh Allen, right? I mean, he helped develop and he had the best year of his career last year. I mean, I think they would have won the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Tyreek Hill catching the ball by Patrick Mahomes and in overtime. So, all right, I mean, early or late in the fourth quarter, I guess you can say. So what do you guys' thoughts on the New York Giants?
Oof, the Giants, I think they're one of the, how can I say, they're one of the most talented teams. They have talent. There's teams out there that don't have talent. The Giants have plenty of talent. For some reason, the injury bug gets them, or either it's Daniel Jones or it's the offensive line. It's always something with the Giants. They kind of remind me of the Falcons from the NFC South. Like they got a ton of talent. I mean, they got Saquon in the backfield. They got Tony in the slot receiver from the Florida Gators or whatnot. Still got Kenny Galladay or whatnot, Darius Slayton. They got time. They got plenty of talent. So they just can't put together for some reason. And now, I mean, the question before was it the coaching? Was it that, or was it the offense? What was it? So I think their defense is fine. I think they got a pretty good defense, pretty young defense. They drafted Thibodeau. Am I saying that right, Jerry? Kayvon Thibodeau. They drafted him or whatnot. So I think they got plenty of talent there. We just have to see if they can put it together for a season or what. And I think if they can be up there. I'm not gonna say they'll win division, but I think they can come close because they're as talented as the Cowboys. I think they're as talented as the Eagles as well. All these teams in the division are talented.
You're well said, Kenley. That's an excellent point, man. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna put this on the line. I think the Giants are gonna be able to put up a bigger fight. Now, the biggest question is can Saquon stay healthy, and is he gonna be a part of the long term future for them? Right? Because in the direction they're headed, like you said, coaching staff and some stud players, Kayvon Thibodeau, right from Oregon, and Evan Neal from Alabama. I mean, they're solidifying the position that's very important. So if Daniel Jones can pick up the play calling, you never know. You can catch that lightning in a bottle. But if anything, I know we're going to talk about we still need to talk about the Commanders. I will say this: the NFC East future is looking very bright. It's looking like they're going to be. I don't know if you guys remember when the NFC East was a very tough division.
It's been a while.
It's been a long while, but I'll tell you this, man: the NFC East in the next 3 seasons is going to be a team that's going to be hard to play against.
And Jerry, this is quickly becoming the division of quarterbacks that need to prove themselves. And the reason why I say that is because, again, Brian Daboll, if he can't fix Daniel Jones, I don't know who's going to be able to. And guess what? He's not able to fix Danny Dimes. You got Tyrod Taylor in the back, just waiting for his, to be a starter again. And we all know about the situation with him, with the LA Chargers, I want to say a couple years ago, with the punctured lung and everything. So he's been dying to get back in the starting role. So we'll see if that happens this season.
Yeah. And then we got the Commanders, right?
We got the Commanders. So obviously the biggest offseason acquisition was them trading for Colts quarterback Carson Wentz. A lot of people thought he was going to have a great year last season, which, I mean, it looked like he was going to, but then towards the end of the year, it kind of just went up in flames. So this will be Carson's last stop as a starting quarterback if he cannot get the job done in Washington.
Man, you took it right out of my mouth. I was about to say that about Carson Wentz. This is his last shot. You went from Philly to Indianapolis for a year. They were done with you after a year. Now you're in Washington. Like this might be his last stop. And I mean, they've done a good job surrounding him with talent. They got Logan Thomas at tight end. They drafted Jahan Dotson out of Penn State and whatnot. They still got Curtis Samuel coming back, and they just gave Terry McLaurin a big contract. So I mean, you already know they got a pretty decent backfield too. So they got the pieces there. Offensive line, I think it's okay. I don't think it's the greatest line, but I think it's average. It's pretty good or whatnot. Defense is young, and they got some players coming back from injury. Chase Young didn't have a good year last year; he was hurt. And they got Payne and Wood. They got a lot of guys coming back on that defense. Defense is young and they're deep, and they can get after you there in that front seven anyway. So I think Washington. I think they're whole NFC East division is going to be interesting because I don't know who's going to win it right now. I don't think none of us know. But if Washington can stay here, it's a lot of ifs with all the team. If Washington can stay here.
No, it's the Cowboys.
I think that guy right there knows.
The Cowboys. I'm telling you right now, Cowboys are going to win the division. I'm telling you.
If Washington can stay healthy,
they should. They should win the division.
Yeah. They should. If Washington can stay healthy just like the Giants, they're going to be up in the running for it too.
Hey, hats off to the Washington Commanders, right? Because I'm, going from the Washington football team to now the Commanders. Wow. Big things are coming for Washington fans. I'm sorry.
They should have just kept the Washington football team.
I believe so too, man. I thought that sounded a lot tougher, but anyways, Look, you got Carson Wentz, and even we saw Trayvon Diggs freaking smile, man. I think he had that heart emoji. The tweets were out, and dude, the thing is that Carson Wentz plays that hero ball. So, I mean, like you said, he can't believe playing hero ball this season, man. This is a very great
Last
debate.
stop.
If
Last
this
stop, Jerry. As
and
a
there
start.
and that this defense, a season before was phenomenal, man. And they have that kind of potential to have that kind of defense that any quarterback can win a championship with.
If
And they all,
history serves us correctly, I believe no team has repeated in a while from this division. So
You're absolutely right, but this time we're going to be back-to-back champs this year. Just
and
saying.
then also they drafted an interesting prospect, Jerry, quarterback out of North Carolina, Sam Howell. So just want to get your thoughts on them.
Man, I think that that was a very smart move on them because the thing is, Sam Howell actually was considered a top first round draft pick. You're talking about maybe potentially even one either first or second pick overall in the draft. At one point, this he had a rough season this season. He lost a lot of his teammates the previous year in the draft. Some of them we might know from like the New York Jets. Michael Carter, he played with Sam Howell. They had a great season. Sam Howell was able to throw the ball deep. He is a very talented player. So many people want to compare him to Baker. He kind of looks like Baker Mayfield,
Yes.
man. But I'll tell you this: that kid has a strong arm, and you know what? That is a secret weapon they just inherited. It's like if this that young man has the potential. He has that potential to maybe perhaps work his way to being, another Dak Prescott type of player, right? Where takes over a good team and is able to string up some good wins. And the great thing is that he doesn't have any pressure because he wasn't selected first overall. In fact, I think he's coming in with less pressure than Malik Willis with the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, most definitely. And now, let me tell you guys just an interesting fact about Sam Howell. I don't know if you guys know this, but did you know he's vegan and he's never tried meat before? Never
I
ate
heard
meat?
I did hear that along the way, and I just thought that was kind of unique. But I mean, hey, hats off to him.
Yeah. Just
well,
thought it was stupid.
I do think with Carson Wentz injury history, I do think he has a good opportunity of playing this year. I do think so.
That's possible.
I
Anything
mean,
is
hopefully for Carson doesn't get hurt, so that way he has a full season to prove that he is a legit NFL starter. But if he's not, Sam Howell's in the waitings to replace him. And hey, you real quick, look, shout out Ryan Fitzpatrick. He retired this offseason. The Fitz Magic. I mean, he was great for the NFL, and he's not going to be playing anymore. So happy retirement, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
man. I mean, he got to live a rock star life at the end, man, and it's awesome because man, we've seen the success that Pat McAfee's had. Right. I'm pretty sure when I see Pat McAfee, everybody has seen him of lately a lot, maybe in social medias where he's saying some cool things. He's become somewhat of his own brand, and Pat McAfee's been able to make a good career. And look at this, they let Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has a kind of like a similar personality, maybe not as loud as Pat McAfee, but wow, man, good job for him. Being able to pick up a gig like that, that's good. That the NFL is able. I mean, that people are seeing that you can definitely get some good football out of people that love talking football and actually study it every day or live it.
Hell of a career for Ryan Fitzpatrick. A bunch
Yeah.
of teams, made a bunch of money. I mean, way to go out.
Go enjoy retirement.
Yes, sir.
All
Make
right,
that
gentlemen.
money.
Let's rank these teams. So obviously we know Cowboys are going to win the division for him, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jerry, who's second, third, and fourth?
Yeah, Giants tight, very close. It's gonna be the Giants are gonna be very close. They're gonna be right behind us, and then I foresee the Commanders making a little comeback, and then of course the Giants putting up a little bit better of a season than they have in a couple seasons.
I'm going Cowboys, Eagles, Washington Giants.
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna go Cowboys, Giants, Philly, and last but not least, the Washington Commanders.
Why Giants over Philly?
I just think, look, they got a lot of offseason. There's some tension going on with the owner and the coaches. So, I mean, I just think it's going to be a long season for the Commanders coming up. So, we'll see.
Man, but you put the Giants at second, so that's bold, and I like it, man. Let's go.
You know
with
what?
it.
Look, Saquon's coming back from the injury. I feel really strongly
Yeah, how
about
many years
Brian
have we
Daboll.
said this about Saquon coming back? And he gets hurt.
Look, third time's the last time. So look, you don't look. They were trying to trade him allegedly this offseason, right? But nobody wanted to take him on because of his injury history.
I'm sorry, dude. Michael Parsons is gonna light him up, bro. And for 2 games, he ain't gonna do good. He ain't gonna do much, man. I'll tell you that much right now.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So, with that being said, thank you everyone out there for watching. Next week we'll review the NFC South offseason moves. With that being said, again, thanks for watching.